What's up, everybody? I'm JC,
I'm Brittany.
and you're listening to
Just Breathing Home Edition.
Yeah! Yeah! It's gonna be so fun doing podcasts now. Because every time you smile, you're gonna look away. So for those that don't know, who are not on social media and follow us on there, Just Breathing Podcast, my beautiful wife of age 13, she just got braces. She got 2 teeth pulled, and then she got braces within a week.
Yeah,
So let's start there. How does your mouth feel?
it's awful. I feel like such a whiner, but yeah, braces are not easy. Especially when like you think you know your teeth are bad, so you get braces, right?
Yeah.
And then once they're in your mouth, you're like, I can't even talk. Like I feel like I can't eat. Your mouth is just so messed up because
Yeah.
your teeth are crooked, and so then you've got crooked like everything everywhere, metal and wires and hooks and chains. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I know. I did it at an appropriate age. I did it when I was like, I don't know, 12, 13.
Mm.
And I had braces for 5 years.
Yeah, that can't be good.
Probably not, right?
That's a long time.
Yeah. You're always more freaked out by that stuff.
I am freaked out by
You're
that
like,
stuff.
if I have this on too long, like my teeth are going to deteriorate. And
Yeah,
like,
I'm concerned about my teeth like rotting away.
no.
Spent the most time ever in the bathroom this past week, like brushing my teeth.
Yeah. I have way more trust in institutions like that for the most part. And like, I'm sure the enamel that the enamel's what's on your teeth, right?
Yes.
I'm sure
yes.
the glue, which is also an enamel, right?
I don't know.
Isn't that what it's called? I don't know. But like the thing that they use to like glue it to your teeth
Right.
is like,
Hopefully that's okay for your teeth. I'm
fine,
guessing
right?
it is.
Like it's,
I don't know. They're not going to tell you if it's not.
this is true. This
This is stuff is really bad that we're gluing on your teeth, but we're getting your money, so it's going to be just fine.
This is true. This is true.
But I am happy. Like I'm happy to get my teeth straightened. It's just
Yeah.
It's just a more of a pain than I would have ever expected.
Well, because especially, let's back up a little bit. Getting Brittany to do something, usually anything, that costs money is like pulling teeth. I had to bring that in there. Buying clothing. I learned that, I think, before we were married. I think I took you shopping at like the
outlets.
some outlets or
And I
something
bought
like
you
that.
stuff.
Yeah. It ended up somehow I getting stuff and you got like 2 shirts
Yeah.
or something like that. But you know, you don't like spending money, and
Yeah.
that's why we are living right now and eating
Mm-hmm.
and surviving. So I'm very appreciative of that. But when it comes to things that are helpful to you, you really not only it was way more than vanity
Mm-hmm.
that you wanted braces.
Yeah.
Like your bottom teeth especially were like becoming compacted.
Yeah, they were. It was
And then
crazy.
What was a turning point for you?
Yes, making me do anything that causes me to spend money is very difficult to make me do. But what pushed me off the edge was I've always wanted braces for mostly.
I love how it's pushed me off the edge. Like I took a deep dive into the abyss, spent money, like
That's how it felt.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted my teeth straightened, but I felt like that wasn't like a good enough reason. But then when my dad had to get like 7 teeth pulled
yeah,
because his teeth were like cracking into each other. And like,
because they were like actually
they were literally like breaking each other because they
Yeah.
were so tight. And that's how mine are, not breaking each other yet. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't really want that to be me.
No.
I was like, I don't want to get to that point. I was like, I might as well just do it now.
Yeah.
This is the best time to do it. Like, waiting more and more will just be more and more awkward. Like 45 getting braces or having to get tons of teeth pulled. Like, no, let's just do it now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just do it now. So,
yep.
So here I am.
So now you're here. Can you give a big smile to the camera?
No, they already got one. That you didn't tell me you were going to post with pigtails. So
that's true. That's true.
They can go find that.
That's true. You were awesome. You were awesome. I made sure to say that in the post, how great you were to let me take that picture. I knew if I didn't take it then, it would not happen. So, I took advantage of you. I'm not proud of it. I have enforced, my patriarchal being upon you. And, like I said, I apologize.
Oh my goodness.
To all the women that listen to this podcast. I made sure I flogged myself.
You should have apologized before you took the picture.
Yeah, but that would have kind of gotten in the way of my coercion. No, it's a good thing that you are getting this done now. It's 2 years. It's 2 years we have to endure.
It's a long time.
This, but during that 2-year process, your teeth are going to get straighter, and it gets so much easier.
Yeah,
my teeth were, oh my goodness. Maybe I'll post this sometime. I have to go back through my mom's photo albums, but my teeth were really bad.
Yeah,
my teeth are really
You'll
bad.
have to show me because I only see pictures of you with braces that were good.
Yeah.
Well, and this is another funny thing that I now that I have braces, you notice other people with braces, but every single picture you see, and this is understandable, of advertisements of people with braces, their teeth are straight.
They're done.
They're straight and perfect and beautiful, and you're like, wow, look at that person. You barely notice they have braces.
Yeah.
Because their teeth are beautiful.
Yeah.
And then you get them on, you're like, oh yeah, that's right. It's because my teeth are not beautiful.
No.
So they look even worse, which is it's just funny.
It is kind of funny when now I'm thinking about that, all of the orthodontist billboards that you see.
Yeah, you're look at those beautiful people.
Yeah, they all have perfect teeth, and you're like, all right.
That doesn't look too hard.
Yeah. I feel like, I guess it's not as good of advertising.
Right.
In that way, you want people oh, look what they did.
Right.
For those people.
You want to have a good feeling when you look at that.
It's implied that their teeth straightened over time. Yeah. But it is kind of funny. You kind of wish there were a couple pictures of
before and after.
That geeky girl with the glasses and the zits and the, that was me. That was me. 100%, except for the girl part. Yeah. I was that kid with big pimples, terrible teeth, braces. And oh my gosh, I'm not proud of this either. At that time too, NSYNC was in. The bleached hair was in.
Goodness.
You had Justin Timberlake with the bleached hair. So I had the bleached hair. It's awful. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it. I ended up shaving my head because it's so bad for your hair.
It is really bad.
My hair was all dried out and ugh, it's gross. It was gross.
That's funny.
Yeah. So maybe those pictures are coming.
Yes.
I feel like they should be. I feel like in payment for the picture I posted of you, I need to put this out there to the world. So keep an eye out. Those pictures are coming. But yeah, I mean, I think it's been a crazy couple of weeks.
Yeah, it has.
Just in general. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've had snow almost nonstop. Thank goodness it's melting right now. Yeah. We had a 50-degree day today. Yeah. It's awesome. A lot of the snow melted, but we were pounded with snow, one after the other. Every time you would shovel overnight, it would snow.
Yeah. Or you would think it's done, and then the next Monday, there it comes again.
Yeah, it's coming back. It's coming back. And then, so we had that. We had a bunch of rain, some warmer weather. The snow started to melt. Then, was it yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday felt like a year ago, but yeah.
Yeah. So yesterday, our toilet stopped flushing correctly.
Yeah.
Our water pressure became non-existent. Mm-hmm. I took a drip shower last night. That was fun. And
our recycling bin had flown away, and our trash was everywhere.
And then it was so windy outside. Our recycling bin, I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
So I ended up taking a hike down we have a creek across the street from our house. I ended up walking the length of the creek all the way to the main road. Couldn't find it. So it's somewhere down the river.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was one thing after another. But we made it through. You learned how to fix toilets.
Yeah.
Like a woman.
Yeah, a woman with braces.
Like a woman with braces. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Whatever that means.
I don't know. But it's powerful, really. That's what I think of. I just think of power.
Metal in the mouth.
Metal in your mouth. That's it. That was the greatest thing. Like coming when Britt came home and all of our kids got to see you for the first time, and especially Addie.
That was cute.
Addie was the best. She was like, it's shiny.
Yeah, she's like, you have like sparkles.
You have like sparkles on your teeth.
So
that's all she cares about. She is a girly girl through and through. She loves glitter. She loves shiny things. She loves diamonds.
Yeah.
She loves pink and purple.
Yeah.
You know, she is girly girl.
It's so cute.
And I love it. I love it. And she was so great with that too. No one was like, ew.
Yeah. Everyone was like, oh, that's so cool.
That's cool. Yeah. I'm kind of happy that was their reaction.
That made me feel better because I was like, this is not cool, but I'll take it. Brom was like, it's like you have earrings on your teeth. I was like, that's really sweet.
Yeah. It's really odd and sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have never thought of that. But...
Yeah. That matches our son.
Yep.
That does match our son. Oh, man. But it's been a week. But we're back. I'm glad to be back doing this home edition. Thanks everybody for tuning in and listening and joining us. If you're watching this in our dining room, and I don't really have a whole lot that I really thought about to talk about tonight. I wanted to kind of talk about that, kind of say what's been going on in our lives and sort of touch on that. And then, kind of whatever else comes up tonight, we'll get into it. But, yeah, we what else have we been doing in this past week? We kind of took a break from the podcast because of that. I wasn't really feeling good.
Yeah.
You know, I've been kind of up and down health-wise over the past couple of weeks. Just, you know, more of like a weird exhaustion, sort of knocked out.
Yeah.
You know, not COVID. I don't know. I don't really know. I feel fine now. But you have to like say that now. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
You feel weird if you like don't like acknowledge.
If I don't like
something.
acknowledge, like I don't think it's COVID.
Right.
But you have to say it.
Yeah. You don't actually have to. You just feel like you have to.
Yeah, that's true. Here we go. Conversation. How many things exist right now that you feel like you have to say something about that no one's ever told you?
Right.
You have to say that thing.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's just
like, have you thought about that?
It's on our minds all the time. So
there's so many things now, though. It's so many things that like it started in social media. Like I've never had like a friend be like, "You can't say that."
Yeah.
Well, I'll take that back. I've had friends be like, "Whoa, are we allowed to say that?"
Oh, really?
Yeah, but even in that statement, like it's kind of a thing where like they're not condemning me. They're just like, "Is this legal?" Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
I think that's such a strange thing. Like there's always been taboo things that you're not supposed to say. Usually they were racist things.
Right.
Usually they were sexist things. You know, I've kind of grown up with that, but there are so many phrases, words, topics now. Like it's really broadened out. It's amazing to me the extent to which your speech is not forcibly silenced or forcibly kind of muted, but there's so much pressure.
Yeah.
And it's such a weird thing because, like I said, I don't really know how to. I'm still kind of processing it because, like I said, I've never experienced that in like my friend groups.
Yeah.
Or my family, or different things I'm a part of. Like I've never had people like call me out.
Yeah.
But I feel it.
Yeah, it's like an invisible pressure. But so something kind of funny that I heard someone say a week or two ago. They were like, they're like, the cure for that fear is to turn off the news. And I was like, that is hilarious. It's so true. I was like, not just the news, but like just all the social where we get our information from.
It is true.
It's just a bombardment of like the same old stuff that like we wouldn't be thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if it wasn't bombarded at us.
Right.
And like things are made such more of a big deal than they really are, or things are taken out of proportion, and it's just, or there's other things we could be thinking about or should be thinking about, and we're not because we're just listening to this other stuff.
Yeah, there's definitely a minority that is sort of driving the conversation or driving the conversation that they want us to have. Mm-hmm. And that could be the news, that could be political pundits, that could be, social media activists.
Yeah.
That could be kind of holier than thou kind of preachers sometimes. I kind of find it coming from a lot of different directions. So that's what's so hard you can say like, oh, shut off the news. I don't even have cable.
I know. We don't know. You don't even watch.
I don't watch the news. So, I mean, like I get the heart of that statement and it's just kind of like shut off all the noise.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you remember that you're just existing in this life.
Yeah.
You're going through this life as a singular person, like an individual that interacts with other personalities and other people of different backgrounds going through their own journeys and things like that. But like this sort of collective cultural bomb that's going off, on social media and on the news and on these institutional things, or instituted things, that really influences your mind in a way that doesn't really exist in your day to day.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's very true. That is very true. And that's and I've done that in the past. I think I've talked about that.
Off,
Mm-hmm. I think I talked about that. I think that was, I don't know if it was during college. I think it was probably during college. I kind of went through this hiatus from anything political.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you could say like, what about cultural? That is political nowadays.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like there's the problem with politics is that it is culture.
Yeah.
And that it's sad. I wish like you could just debate policy and debate things happening in culture, but like somehow the cultural things always come back to like, this is a Republican versus Democrat issue. And it's like, really?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about it in like Congress.
Right.
Like, but that's the world we live in. Everything comes back to this kind of new religion of politics that we're existing in. And it's yucky.
Yeah.
So dirty. It makes you feel gross.
Yeah. So, so going off of that, this is off topic, but kind of not.
Okay.
So here's a question of mine that I was just thinking about super recently. So like I feel like because of everything that's going on, not just in our country, but just in the world, like, it's a little disturbing, honestly. But so I've been thinking, I'm like, okay, so as a Christian, how do we balance rest, work, and fun? And what is the difference between fun and rest? Because I don't know, like, I know we're supposed to be hardworking. That's obvious. And you can find that in scripture. But at the same time, and it's with everything that's going on, it's easy to really want to work hard, which we should, especially for certain things that are happening, like to fight against those things or to help promote things, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But then also God calls us to rest, which is mandated and it's important. But what exactly does that look like? But then also, like, we should be joyful people in the Lord and having fun. And I'm just like, how do we balance all that? Because like you hear of things that are happening that are like a burden, on my heart. And I'm like, oh, this is just so awful. You almost feel bad to have fun because you're like, I can't believe these things are happening.
Yeah.
And it's this heaviness.
Yeah.
That's not going to help their situation. But it's also not that you should just ignore it either. So
right.
I don't know. It's very, and then, so that's the question. But then I was, loaded question. But then I was thinking of Jesus's life because I'm like, okay, well, what does Jesus's life look like?
Yeah.
And it's actually kind of hard to answer that question. Now, of course, I've only been thinking about this for a little while, but I'm like, mostly from what we see in God's word is a lot of like prayer and then, which I guess you could consider that rest, even though he got up really early to pray. And then like work.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. That's why I'm asking the question. I'm like, it's a good kind of.
No, it's a great question. Let's start with kind of want to go back to the first question and then kind of move into what I've seen, sort of life of Jesus and how that lives now in our lives. First, I just want to like point out, because you said Sabbath or rest, it's known as in the Bible as Sabbath, it is a mandate. It was given to the Israelites as a mandate, but when you really read why it was given to the Israelites, it's a gift. God said, I have given you this day.
Right.
As a gift for your rest.
Right. This is for your good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to point that out. Rest is not something that we should take as a law.
Like a burden.
Yeah, it's not a burden.
Yeah.
It's for your good. And we should always go into rest knowing that it's for our good.
Yeah.
And just to stick on that for 1 second, like the reason that it is good, especially if you're a Christian, you're able to remove yourself from everything and know that you're not in control of it. Mm-hmm. That's the main purpose, is to remove yourself from the grind of your personal work, your work in the world, everything that's going on in the world, so that you can remember who's actually in control.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as a Christian, we believe that God's in control of all of the situations that I know you are really burdened for. There's so many things going on in our world, from human trafficking to the treatment of different people groups, around the world. Genocides taking place, people in concentration camps, all of these horrific things that are going on in the world. We have to step away from and remember that God's in control. Yeah. And it's good for us to remember that.
Yes.
Even if you're not a Christian, remembering that there is, man, I don't even think you can really, like, philosophically, I don't think you can really get past the fact that there is this. Jordan Peterson talks about the way that kind of there, when you really dig into the things that are happening in this world and the minds of the people and just all of the stuff going on, you see this narrative taking place. There's this story kind of developing in this world, and it's very much like a narrative. Like he always talks about like the hero's journey. There's always this hero's journey that's happening in everyone's life where we have to make decisions for good over evil. We always have to make these decisions to take on responsibility over abdicating it for laziness and for debauchery and for things that for some reason there's this thing inside of us that if we tried to go against it, some people call it a conscience, some people call it the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it. When we try to go against this thing, it eats us alive inside. Mm-hmm. So whether you believe in God or not, there's something going on that is trying to direct our lives to a more fulfilled, more responsibly led life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And part of that responsible life is to remember that you can't control it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're one person in a very big world.
And that is a relief.
Yeah. As Gandalf would say to Bilbo, you're a very small person in a big world. I messed up that quote, but that's in The Hobbit. Geek alert. But yeah, so that's one aspect of just remembering how important rest is and why it's important. But then also there's this whole other side to, what were the other two? Fun and work, right?
So the I guess the biggest part of my next question would be, how does the play and the rest, do they go together? Like,
yeah,
because that's what I would think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
They go together for two purposes. One, a lot of that is important. Like we talked about in the last home edition on friendship, it's healthy.
Yeah.
It's healthy for you to be with people. Also, it's service for you to be with people. And that's really the main thing that we're here on this earth to do, is to serve other people.
Mm-hmm.
You don't find actual fulfillment in your life until you're doing things for other. Either you're working in like some type of business that you built that serves somebody. That's where you'll get fulfillment. I mean, you can find this in every industry. Musicians find fulfillment in putting music out and it touching someone's life. Comedians going up there and making someone laugh. Like, you're touching somebody.
Yeah.
And that's fulfilling. Not always. I mean, and there's deeper things like friendship, like marriage, like, your relationship with your kids that are more fulfilling.
Yeah.
And they're deeper avenues to fulfillment.
Yeah.
But I think it's incredibly important to have fun.
Yeah.
Especially with other people, because in doing so, you're serving them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're having an enjoyable time and being served through that because it's healthy. And then if you could incorporate fun with, other acts of service, like teaching, while you're with friends and you're talking and you're talking out things that are going on in our culture or in our world or in our churches or in our schools or in our whatever, you're also helping people grow.
Right.
So that's another way that you're really serving other people, is that you're a catalyst for personal growth.
Yeah.
So I think it's hugely important,
right,
to have fun with people. And I think we've actually done a disservice by focusing on things that are too big for us as individuals to do something about. We've just gone on social media and talked about it. We've changed our profile picture to have, something in the profile picture to say we're for this or against this. It doesn't change anything.
Right.
It just makes you feel better because deep down inside you can't do anything on a macro level to fix it. But on a micro level, you go have fun with your friends. You talk about those issues. Right. You've affected two people. They go talk to their friends. They've affected a different person, and it can grow from there. So we've gotten these wrong impressions. I don't know if it's from all of these sort of global or these more widespread efforts to kind of fix these global issues. And you can find this even in like human trafficking. Like, I'm very thankful that the organization you're a part of is centered on Berks County, where we live. It's not a worldwide human trafficking advocacy group or anything like that.
Even though those are really important too.
They're very important to like get the word out that, hey, stuff is going on. But at the same time, the stuff that they're really pointing out that's happening in this world is too big. And what you'll actually find, and this is a psychological thing, if it's too big, we shut down to it. Because we know we can't fix it.
Right.
So we might put something out there saying, yeah, I support you, but internally we just shut down and ignore it.
That's why, why the hard work is so important, because if whatever it is that you're passionate about, you put yourself into that and you do what you can do with everything you have.
Yeah.
But then you take those days to once a week or whatever to just rest and rejoice in the Lord that you aren't in charge of it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But going back to Jesus. So Jesus had a balanced approach to this. And you know this. A lot of people came to him and spoke with him and listened to him, thousands. I mean, we know that like the one story of Jesus feeding the 5,000 men is not even
all the people.
It's not even all the people, because back then they didn't count the women and children. You know, so like there was probably at least 10,000 people at that assembly.
Sorry, go ahead. You finish what
you're
saying.
No, but I was just going to say, but who did he actually invest more serious time into? 12.
Right.
You know, he would speak to the people in these parables, and some maybe got it. Most didn't. And then his disciples, the 12 disciples, afterwards would say, what on earth did that mean?
Yeah.
You know, and then he would explain it to them.
That's a good point.
So there's this balance where like he would make himself available and try and say truths that, I mean, like he preached like the Sermon on the Mount. I mean, these are like some of the most talked about things, you know, blessed are the poor in spirit, you know, blessed are the meek, blessed are, you know, those that hunger and thirst for righteousness, blessed are, you know, these are like crazy important things that he preached to the crowds, but then he explained them to his disciples.
Yeah.
And he really invested all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, he traveled with these people for 3 years, you know, and, you know, really poured himself into them. And I think that's what we're supposed to do as people, you know, make ourselves available to like the bigger issues that are going on in the world. Make sure that people understand and know so that they can go back and have these conversations with their intimate groups. And I think we're supposed to do that too. You know, that's why I don't completely, I'm not against any group like that is a global advocacy group or anything like that. They all have their role.
They're all super important. The little ones and the big ones.
Especially if they're able to inspire chapters in small towns to raise money or have conversation, you know, or whatever it is, are able to grow and develop and talk about these things on a smaller scale so that people's lives are actually impacted by them and people grow and, you know, learn from these things. So I don't know. That's kind of from looking at Jesus's life, sort of my understanding of how he did it. And I think it's a really effective tool for our own lives to do it in that same way.
That's a good point. Because those same people then that he did a lot of work with is the people that he rested with and enjoyed time with during those days where you took a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hard to really look at Jesus's life and say, like, did he have fun? I mean, like, he turned water into wine. Like, he was at a party. That's like the only example that we really see. But I mean, there's a lot of feasts and activities that are just a part of Jewish culture at the time that he attended.
Right.
So I'm sure he did have fun in his life.
Right.
What we get to see of him is really like the last 3 years of his life.
Yeah.
And he had a purpose. And so it's hard because a lot of the writing about what he did in those 3 years is him talking about, hey guys, I'm headed in this direction. It's not a pretty end.
Yeah.
You know, it's a beautiful resurrection, but it's not a pretty end to my life.
Yeah.
So he kind of was a little more serious during that period of time. But I think even in the way that he acted and having these close friendships and these close relationships that extended out to these people's families. I mean, he stayed with Peter's, mother and healed her when she was sick when he came into the house. And like he stayed with Mary and Martha, I forget who they're related to.
I can't remember.
So like he was plugged into friends and family.
Yeah.
And then he made himself available in his work
to many more.
Yeah. And that's just kind of the pattern that I've always been like, it worked. Yeah. It worked.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think it's something to look at and to follow.
Really investing yourself into a smaller group of people. And then for your work, you make yourself available and you help maybe many, but your invested time is with just with a few. But it's consistent.
Yeah.
And it's dedicated.
And that's like, for everybody that listens to this and watches this podcast, like that's really what we try to do in our own lives. We're invested into these smaller communities, but like, I want everyone to know that listens and watches this. This is the way that we really have been able to be healthy in our lives.
Yeah.
You know, that's honestly, that's the main purpose of this podcast is to like, I want open and honest and authentic conversation that also helps motivate you to have a happier, healthier, more responsible life.
Yeah.
That I want you to be successful. I want you to be fulfilled. I don't want you to be happy. You can be happy in so many different ways. I want you to be fulfilled because that's actually sustainable.
Yeah.
There's a difference. Happiness, like you can have a drink, you can have sex, you can, do all of these different things to be happy for a moment.
Yeah.
But like, I want people to like get their health in order. Like I want people to get their relationships in order. I want people to get, their mind in order. I want people to get their spiritual lives in order so that they're fulfilled. That's something that's so important to me.
Yeah. That's well put.
But what was I feel like I'm missing something from the first part of your question. Did I miss anything in terms of, we talked about rest, fun, and work?
I don't think you missed anything. I'm just trying to make it relatable to my own life.
Yeah.
I think I know that I work hard and I know that I try to rest, but I feel like I'm missing the fun in the rest.
Okay.
I think that I try to rest because God knows I need it. Like, so I just want to sleep a whole day sometimes.
Maybe you should,
but
maybe there are days that you should.
But I feel like I make every relationship some sort of like ministry or task.
Oh, okay.
And it's very hard for me to find people who like I can just have fun with.
Yeah.
And like I have like maybe one person who I can just have fun with. So maybe I need to get together with that person more. And then there's someone else that comes to mind. Or I mean, a few other people, but someone else in particular that comes to mind that doesn't live close that like I'd like to get to know more. And I think, but I don't know. And that's probably all my fault. Like I probably could just get to know someone better and have that. But
especially in the world we live in nowadays where you can FaceTime and Skype, Zoom, whatever you need to do to get to know people. Yeah.
Because and sorry to interrupt, but just
go ahead.
Like to go off of that, I think it is like you're saying in that day of rest.
Yeah.
I think it's glorifying to God to just rejoice in him with others that want to rejoice in him and just have fun and like relax on that day in company with others. But yeah, I don't really do that. So I'm just thinking it through. Not that it always has to be that.
We've been trying to work that out for a while. Ever since we really were like, like the Bible talks about resting and like how important it was. Oh, God rested after he made everything.
Yeah.
Like it's important. so we tried to incorporate that into our lives. And I think we've talked about this in older podcasts and stuff when we were still kind of trying to get into it and trying to figure it out and reading books about it. And you do kind of have to find your Sabbath.
Yeah.
And that could, what I mean by that could sound bad, I guess. What I mean by that is you need to really find you need to do things that are restful, that are fun, for you. And that's not going to be the same for everybody.
Yeah.
Some people are the people that are just like, I'm just going to sit on the couch and read a book. And that's pleasurable for me. I feel rested afterwards. I feel,
right.
We can't do that.
Yeah. It's different with children.
Right.
Yeah.
We have screaming kids that are like, can I eat? Can I eat?
Yeah.
That's it. They just want to eat.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. That's about it.
Or steal a toy from their sibling.
Yeah. Yeah. That too. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out. Like I still kind of wonder, and it's really a back and forth with me and God and us figuring this out, where I'm just like, because I don't want to be legalistic about it.
Right.
I don't want to be like, I will not do this, and this on this day.
Right, right.
Well, it's like, yeah, but what if I like have a good time doing that?
Yeah.
And what if I feel like good afterwards? Like I never get to do this.
Yes.
Now this is the only day that I get to do this and I'm not allowed to.
Yeah.
Like that sounds terrible. That doesn't sound restful. That sounds stressful.
Yeah.
So I've been kind of going through that whole thing and being like, maybe I want to record more music on my rest days.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about that lately. Like we haven't really been getting the music out that we've wanted to do and getting it recorded and stuff like that. I have fun doing that.
Yeah. Me
like,
too.
I do it and I'm like, I don't feel tired. I actually feel more awake.
You're like,
afterwards.
yes, did it. That was so great.
Yeah, you got accomplishment. You got doing something you love doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that all really it just goes hand in hand with rest. I think fun goes hand in hand with rest.
Yeah.
Especially when you look, going back to biblical times when like Sabbath was established for the Israelites, they worked the fields. They were shepherds. Like they worked from dawn to dusk. That was the times. And to have a day where they were like, no, don't go out today. Don't go out to the field.
Yeah.
Don't tend the flock. Don't go fishing. Don't whatever. Take a break from that and just spend time with your family. Like it was mandated. They weren't allowed to do a lot of things. And then it became a little more legalistical by the time Jesus comes.
Yeah.
But like, man, that's a break.
Yeah.
They could do something maybe they enjoyed.
I
don't know what that was back then, but it gave them the opportunity.
Yeah.
We have that opportunity in such a free and open society that we live in. We should be doing something that is fun.
Yeah.
And that really just makes us come alive during those rest days.
Yeah.
I think that's just part of it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I think that answered my question.
Okay. Cool. Glad I got that checked off. Yeah. That's good though. I've been thinking a lot about that. So I'm glad you brought it up. Because there is such a balance that we all have to kind of figure out in all of our lives.
Right.
Of, there's it's so hard because like, I want to grind in the good sense.
Yeah.
Not like hurt myself or hurt my relationships. I don't want to grind at the expense of.
Yeah.
Maybe at the expense of my time sometimes if I feel like it's necessary, but like not at the expense of like my children.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my, other relationships. I don't want to do that. But like, yeah, but then I need to balance it with rest.
Yeah.
And making sure that there's that space for that. To remember that I'm not in control of even my own success.
Yes.
In my life. You know, like I can't make it happen.
Mm-hmm. I think that is the beautiful thing about rest. From what I've learned about it this far in my life is that exact point that you made in the beginning, is that I'm not in control. And like, it really is a free feeling. And sometimes like, I've really experienced that sometimes when I've actually been sick.
Yeah.
And like, I can't do anything and I feel really bad. And I actually have this, not that I feel good, but I have this sense of peace and rest. It's like a remembering that like, I'm not in control. I'm not in control. Like I can't be at this moment. Mm-hmm. And it is a rest.
And it's cool to see feeling. Like things still get done.
Yes. And once you get better, or when that day of rest is over, the world goes on.
Right.
And life goes on.
Right.
And
it
like
was the world didn't miss you.
Yeah.
In those days. Like it continued. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I feel this all the time. I feel like the world's going to pass me by if I'm not injecting myself into it.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to get too far behind on what's happening in culture or what's happening in politics or what's happening in religion or what's happening in, you know, intellectual discussions, or if I'm not injecting myself into all of it.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to be behind and ignorant and whatever. And it's not true.
Yeah.
Because what I find is when I disconnect and come back in, a lot of the same conversations are happening in all of those different fields. You know, a lot of the same people are still asking the same questions.
Yes.
Still without answers, you know. And they didn't miss me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They didn't miss me. So maybe that's the advice for tonight. You know, we didn't really know what we were going to get into. Thank you for asking that question, because that was really good. You're not in control.
Yeah.
That's the takeaway from tonight. And that should be so comforting to you. Don't let it be a burden that you're not in control.
Right.
Because I know a lot of people could feel burdened from being like, but I need to fix this, or I need to mend this relationship, or I need to. No, you don't.
Right. And don't let it be an excuse to be lazy either.
And usually, don't let it be an excuse to be lazy. If you're doing nothing, that's another conversation. Yeah. But man, there's so much to be learned in the times that we step away and realize that we're not in control. Mm-hmm. Try it out.
Yeah.
Try rest out. Take a day, make it your day. Make it, you know, what did Parks and Rec always say? You know, treat yourself. That was the day. Do something to have fun. Mm-hmm. Go somewhere. Go on a road trip. Be with friends.
Yeah.
Be with family. Just enjoy yourself. Mm-hmm. Not make a thing of it. Not make an event of it. Just make it a day of fun.
Yeah.
And rest. So, anything else?
I mean, we could always talk more. But.
I know. I think we'll wrap it up here, though. I like keeping these episodes shorter. Thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for getting through, you know, Brit's mumbling with her braces. No, you actually did pretty good.
I did pretty good.
It didn't sound bad at all.
Yeah. I don't think I spit that much. So
that's good.
That's good.
It's high def. You could definitely see it too.
Okay, well, I don't think I did it at all. So,
but before you go, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the notification bell. All that good stuff. People that are listening, make sure you subscribe where you're listening, or follow us on Spotify. Leave us a rating, a review, all that jazz. And we'll see you on the next home edition. Love you all. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And we'll see you next time.